Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the edition of Soccer as we like it, the Man United direction. Breaking news, breaking news. The bridge is broken. A bridge too far, a bridge of no return. Where we are, and here we go. Let's get right into it. As you know, Ronaldo had an interview with Piers Morgan recently. Part one and part two was aired on Wednesday and Thursday. We made our conclusions, we made our decisions. Fans decided to, you know, this, how would I say, destroy Ronaldo's character. Some people supporting Ronaldo, some don't support Ronaldo. It is a get it out of my club mentality. We've had everything and for everything from the kitchen sink. Right. This is where we have to know what is what and what is not what. The way Piers Morgan sold this thing was, you know, he doesn't respect you, he does this, that, blah, blah, blah. But when you listen to the interview, what he did say was in the press, Ten Hag says one thing, but it's an excuse. He didn't bring him on against Man City, 6-3. He said he's not that player who should be brought on for 3 minutes. He's the manager, he tells you when to go. He said he regrets walking off. He got fined. He apologized for his teammates. He made an Instagram post. He apologized for his and he regrets it because he was provoked because he was told, "Hey, you come off for 3 minutes." And he said, "I am not that player." I get it. Still, you got to follow the rules of the club. Secondly, talks about the Glazers. That we know he needed to say that. The club has not moved on since 2013. That is 9 years now. 10 years. We don't won a trophy in six. The facilities of that stadium are deplorable. I went to Old Trafford. Hear me out. I went to Old Trafford in 2019. I could not get Wi-Fi service adequately. It was just breaking up. My friend went there. You've seen him, Devin from Tampa, one of the USA Man United contributors to this channel. He was on this channel this week. He went there this season. That was 4 years after I went, and there's still no Wi-Fi signals in the stadium. A club that magnitude and size, give me a fucking break. These Glazers are a bunch of fucking idiots. They don't want to replay the club. They don't want to invest money in the stadium. The stadium is falling apart. The activities, the equipment, everything is ancient. It's dinosaur age. We need to move forward. We agree with Ronaldo in that. Lack of investment. The owners, they don't care about the club. We agree. We get that part. But my thing here was everything Piers Morgan said. I actually thought Ronaldo was going to bash Eric Ten Hag more than what we got. I was expecting that, he's going to criticize his background as he's a Dutch coach. What does he know about the Premier League? That he's not qualified to be Man United coach. I thought I was going to get things like that, but that wasn't the case for Ronaldo. So I think the fact of the matter is, a lot of fans have already made their minds up about Ronaldo before they even heard the interview. They just heard little sketches from Piers Morgan selling it and wrote Ronaldo off. I get it. But his legacy still remains in the club. That is one thing that I would say I still respect his legacy. He will always be a United legend, a legend. This guy here, Roy Keane, one of the greatest captains ever played for Manchester United. He walked out of the Ireland national team in 2002 World Cup. They had just arrived. He had a verbal altercation with the manager of then Mick McCarthy. He abused the manager, abused the coaching staff, and fucking was sent. He was sent home. They literally sent him home. They hadn't even played the World Cup. They hadn't even started. They just arrived. 3 years later, Man United on MUTV, he abused all the players, calling the youth players and senior players that all they do is buy Bentleys and this and that and that. They need to focus on the football. He criticized Quiros that Quiros doesn't know what he's doing. That he's he literally abused the guy and questioned Alex Ferguson why he has that guy as his assistant. That he needs to question himself why he's not challenging Chelsea. Alex Ferguson said, fuck you. No player's bigger than the club. He got fired. Ireland, Man United. He still came back to manage Ireland 2 years ago. He's still a legend, despite walking out of his country, walking out on his country. Man United, he walked out in 2005, was fired. He's still a United legend. He doesn't speak to Alex Ferguson to this day. but he's still a United legend. So Ronaldo's legacy would not be tarnished. He won't play for United again. We know that fact. He's done. We know that. But he's still a United legend. I know that fact, and that is what it is. Do I condone what he said about Erik ten Hag? No, I don't. But it was not as bad as we were expecting it to be, is my perception. I was expecting fireworks, thunderbolts, lightning, thunderstorms, um, bazookas, grenades, rocket launchers, the full works, missiles. I wasn't that. Well, that's Piers Morgan. The winner after this interview is Piers Morgan. He's the winner in all of this. Piers Morgan is the winner in all of this, not Ronaldo. So I'm going to read out a statement from the club. Manchester United has this morning initiated appropriate steps in response to Cristiano Ronaldo's recent media interview. We will not be making further comments until this process reaches its conclusion. All right. So they are thinking of seeking legal advice. They want to terminate his contract, rip his contract out, told him not to come back after the World Cup. Don't come back to Canada, you're not welcome. Secondly, they did say they're seeking legal advice to terminate his contract and not pay him the remaining of his contract. So they said that was a breach of contract, so they're seeking legal advice not to pay Ronaldo his money. They've apparently fined him last week £1 million for that. Manchester United are exploring the legal options as they look to end Cristiano Ronaldo's time at the club. It is accepted at United that Ronaldo cannot play for Erik ten Hag again, following his fierce criticism of the Dutchman in his Talk TV interview. He had just over 7 months remaining in his 500,000 a week contract. United could terminate the Portuguese forward's contract, which would leave him free to sign for another club when the transfer window opens in January. It is understood they are aloof to offer the 37-year any kind of payoff, given how strongly they feel about the situation. The club wants the matter dealt with quickly to avoid it spilling over into the second half of the season. In this interview, Ronaldo said he felt betrayed by the club, and he stated that he had no respect for Ten Hag, adding he felt he was being forced out of the club. United responded on Friday with a statement to say they have initiated. Okay. Right. This is my fault. And listen up clearly. I personally believe psychologically and mentally, he has not healed from the death of his son. He is going through a lot of emotional situation. He's having to accept the fact he's no more the main man at United. He's no more the man to do things. He's no more the boy wonder. Yes, he did say he's adapted because he's no more 21. He said we get older every day. We're getting older. He's not what he used to be when he was 20. At least he accepts that fact. But accepting that is also different from accepting the fact that you are no more, you're now no more going to be starting games. You've lost it's hard to accept the fact you're not what you used to be. It's a mental thing. It's a psychological thing. I also think the death of his son, the club not believing him that his child was sick during the preseason tour, I thought that was a low blow from Manchester United. That was just not right. Because I know with these tours, a lot of money is made. They were planning to sell a lot more shirts because they had already budgeted and projected. I do a lot of financial analysis, and they had already projected how much shirts they'll sell with Ronaldo going on tour. He not being there changed the dynamics of the money flow. So I think what he's saying, some senior executive did not believe him when he said his child was sick. And considering he had just lost a son who was the twin of the sister who went to the hospital who was sick, he wasn't taking chances. And he said he's never going to put football over family. So I think he's going through a lot mentally. So let us as fans for 1 minute take out the football element and all of this and look at him as a human. Yes, he's made his mistakes. Yes, he's a father. Yes, he's a husband, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it to Georgina. But they are still grieving the loss of a child. The part that really hit me home was when he said, when they brought the kid home, the younger kids, the younger ones in the house asked, where's the other one? You said it was two. Where's one? And that hit home. It's a lot. So I think he has not really recovered from grieving. He's just trying to get things out. He just finds the criticism, Jimmy Carragher, Gary Neville. But one person he did, the two people who've always been in his corner, Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, always been in his corner. He said Rio Ferdinand was his neighbor. Roy Keane, he respects as one of the best captains ever worked with. That's a big compliment. But Roy Keane is another guy who did the same thing for United. Walked out of the country in 2002 in the World Cup. The country just got to the World Cup. Barely 3 days, he abused the captain, the manager, and was sent home. 2005, he abused the team, the coaching staff. Question Alex Ferguson on MUTV. They never showed that footage because I heard it was F-bomb throughout. But this wasn't that. He didn't. It wasn't a Roy Keane interview. It wasn't that bad. But Piers Morgan said it was going to be that, but it wasn't that. You see what I mean? So we were kind of pulled along on a string, and United fans we all felt like a bunch of clowns into that Piers Morgan loop. Like, yeah. But what he said against Ten Hag, he said, I'm not criticizing him. He never judged him. He just said he just feels the guy doesn't respect him, deserving of the respect he deserves. He believes he deserves to get. I get it. But at the same time, you still need to follow the club who the manager in charge is. That's my point. What you said, you're walking off, childish, petulant. He said he regrets it. He was provoked because, like I said, I think he's emotionally disconnected. He did say at one point in the interview, I am not motivated. I was happy to be here. Then he lost his motivation when he started seeing they're trying to get him out of the club. But this is where we are. It's over. He's a legend. He's out of the club. The club is going to try and see if they could legally sue him and not pay him the remaining of his contract. I know his lawyers also fight it. So is this going to be one long legal battle? We don't know. We just have to wait and see. Other than that, the World Cup is about to start in 2 days. We'll be covering that. So we're going to switch channels. It's going to be soccer as we like it. No more the Man United action, because we're not going to talk about Man United at this period, but we're going to talk about Man United players if they are making an impact in the World Cup, because we have a lot of players. We have Ronaldo, we have Bruno, we have Delo, we have Rashford, we have Shaw, we have Maguire, we have Martinez, we have Casemiro, we have Fred, we have Christian Eriksen. We also have Malaysia also going to the World Cup. So we have a lot of players out there. So we'll be watching them, and so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for those of you who've been subscribing to the channel. It's really been great. I appreciate you. Please support us. We tell you as it is, we bring the greatest and fastest news of every United content to the best of our ability. So please follow us on all the social media platforms, on TikTok, Instagram, so Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify as well, and also on YouTube. So subscribe to our channel. The link is right in the description. Thank you very much. Ronaldo, it's over for Man United and Ronaldo. It is what it is. From us, it's goodbye and good night.